China were planning to invade Taiwan. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. If you haven't been here before, my name's Lee. Okay, so before I talk a little more about this, I just want you to watch this clip from Laura Ingraham and Fox News.
And we now turn to a stunning report from Newsweek. A Russian dissident named Vladimir Osheskin claims to have obtained leaked letters from an FSB whistleblower saying the CCP was just months away from launching its own invasion. Xi Jinping was at least tentatively considering the capture of Taiwan in the autumn. There's a colossal power struggle among the party elite, though. Now, after the events in Ukraine, this window of opportunity has shut. Joining me now is Mike Pillsbury, Director for Chinese Strategy at Hudson and author of The 100-Year Marathon. Mike, Fox hasn't confirmed the authenticity of these leaks. I have to say, someone you and I both know told me something similar a few months ago, that the go date would be sometime in the autumn. But this could be a smokescreen, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Laura. Taiwan itself frequently forecasts that the month of April and the month of October are the two most dangerous periods. Because that's when the sea state is flat in the Taiwan Strait and the chances of a monsoon or even major thunderstorms are much less. So we know that Beijing does debate what it should do about Taiwan and if it's going to invade when. So this leak, if you will, from the Russian intelligence service, from a whistleblower inside the Russian intelligence service, fits in with the idea that Taiwan as a topic comes up in Beijing. Sometimes they'll postpone it for 2 or 3 years. They're always looking for favorable circumstances. And that's my own worry, Laura, is that unless we get a peace deal involving Russians and Ukraine, this provides an opportunity for the hawks in Beijing to say, this is our chance, let's go.
Yeah, so you take the opposite view of so many in the foreign policy establishment who say, okay, if the U.S. doesn't get more involved and put Putin back on his heels with more weapons and more money to Ukraine, the MiGs and so forth, China's going to see that as a green light to go into Taiwan. I've never agreed with that, but I'd like your thought on that.
Well, I agree with the clip you played of Neil Ferguson, that we need to focus on the makings of a peace deal. That's going to deter Xi Jinping and the Chinese hawks if they see that something's worked out involving neutrality of Ukraine or some sort of promise that he won't join NATO for 10 years. He wasn't going to be able to join NATO for at least 5 years anyway because of various conditions that Ukraine was not meeting to join NATO. So I tend to think that your focus tonight on the idea of what is the contents of a peace agreement, that's really quite important. And strangely enough, the Chinese are offering to help, but their price is very high, Laura. Their ambassador wrote an article today saying they'll help with the ceasefire, but only if the U.S. doesn't sanction China in any way. So they're afraid of sanctions being put on China.
Yeah, well, they want those tariffs lifted, Mike, right? They don't want any of those Trump tariffs, and they don't want any new tariffs. So again, the longer this goes on in Ukraine, the higher the price that Ukraine and the West will have to pay for that peace. That's my concern. Mike, as always, thank you.
Now, the first thing I will say about this is this kind of thing always happens after a high-level meeting between the US and China. They either come out with some propaganda or they come out with some additional tariffs. We've seen this time and time again. But some things to note here. First of all, it's from a Russian dissident, and it's from an unnamed source in the Russian intelligence service. And I just think this is absolutely crazy. I mean, Laura Ingraham even said that they can't verify the authenticity of this, and that's probably because it's more than likely been made up by somebody in the US intelligence service, and passed out to the media. So I'm sure we'll see this repeated even more. Secondly, I think that even if China was planning an invasion of Taiwan, why on earth would they be sharing that information with the Russians? It just makes no sense at all. And I don't actually believe that Taiwan have any intentions of invading Taiwan. The only people that are pushing this red line are the US. It's very, very obvious. I think China, more than anything, wants a diplomatic solution to the Taiwan question, and they've always said that. And actually, a survey that was done of Taiwanese people, they were quite happy with the status quo, and I think to an extent China are happy with the status quo. Both Taiwan and China do a huge amount of trade together. Taiwan's largest trading partner is China, and I really don't see any reason why they would want to sort of upset that balance. Yes, China do see, the mainland see that Taiwan is an integral part of China. This has a lot of history behind it. It is not for this video, but I just think this is it's just pure propaganda from the USA. Then later on in the interview, they discussed that China are willing to be a peace negotiator in the Ukraine-Russia situation, but the price for that is that no tariffs are imposed on China, and that China want these tariffs that Trump put on removed. Well, of course China want those tariffs removed. However, those tariffs are hurting the US far more than they are China. I think the US are in more of a rush to have those tariffs removed than China are, because it's actually causing inflation in the US to be pumped, which is in turn hurting American ordinary people and ordinary consumers. Anyway, I'd really like to know what you guys think about this. It actually shocked me when I saw this clip. I believe it's pure propaganda. Love to know what you think in the comments down below. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this channel in general and you are intending on watching more content from here, hit that subscribe button. Please don't hit it if you're not really that interested in the videos, because that will hurt the algorithm. But as always, for now, take care.